Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boom and Bust channel, Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host Terry, and today doing a recap of our week 6, I think this is week 6 victory. Yep, week 6 against the Carolina Panthers. So a little late with the recap, but a little bit of a long day. And I actually rewatched a lot of the game just to make sure I have my points solid, but what I gathered from my first time watching was pretty much what I gathered the second time. I mean, it's typically how we play. I've said this for a while. We're a team that's good enough to compete. When things fall our way, we get a couple breaks, then we could win games, especially against those that we're supposed to win against. So that's kind of what happened here. Again, overall, I think the defense did a good job really holding tough. Carolina did move the ball on us, and that's what we saw last year, last few years, really. And so they moved the ball, but in the end, we end up holding them to either a field goal or, a turnover on downs. So that was definitely one of the big reasons our offense was able to stay in this game. And the offense, they did pretty okay, but still not what you would want from your starting offense. And I don't get too much into certain stats. Like, really, a lot of these numbers don't mean anything, but it was at least interesting to see that we haven't scored in the third quarter. And we were the only team before this game. And doesn't super surprise me. As I said, second half, we tend to really flatten out on offense after the first half. And so, yeah, but that was just an interesting stat. But anyway, I guess we'll focus in on the offense first. I would give them like a C. I thought they had better rhythm and got definitely more first downs. I would probably like to see those numbers, but it felt like they were moving the chains a lot more than previous. I mean, and that was in the second half because early on they got the early touchdown. Then the defense was on the field for a while because Carolina was driving. But then the offense, I think, just kind of picked up and even the later drives where we were trying to run some clock, we were picking up first downs. And it was impressive to a certain point. Obviously, that's not what anybody's offense wants to look like, but it definitely was impressive for what we usually look like, where it felt like we had more rhythm. And I at least liked that part. But, yeah, early on, even before the touchdown, we had time management issues. It was just looking sloppy. But I thought we started to get to a point where it was at least decent. And, the run game still wasn't great. David Montgomery, I mean, I've said this already. I give him a lot of credit for being able to make something out of nothing, even though I think his eyes get him into a lot of trouble as well. But Rashard Coward is one of the worst offensive linemen I've ever seen. Have no idea why he's in instead of Bars. Bars might be hurt. I'm not sure. I don't really check the injury wire like that, but I hope that's what I don't hope Bars is hurt, but if they put Coward in over Bars, that's crazy. That man is so bad. But anyway, our run game wasn't great before that, but I thought we at least had some spots. I saw Coward get destroyed a number of times. I saw him pull a number of times, so we'll see how much we ran power. But, yeah, the run game wasn't great like usual, so that's nothing new. But I felt like, and I still feel like with the new offense coordinator and all that our plays have looked a lot different. But it feels like we don't have any identity. I mean, in the run game, we kind of do the same thing, but it doesn't work. But the rest of that, I feel like we don't really have an identity. It feels like we do a lot of different stuff. Like, we'll do the curls from last year. We'll do some of the stuff with the tight ends, and I don't know if Jimmy was hurt or they just wanted to get Kmet in there more. But getting Kmet in there, we done some more stuff with the tight ends, whether it's the late releases and all that off the play action, which we don't usually do. Obviously, we done a lot of isolation with Jimmy Graham. We got some vertical shots we like doing. We do some short stuff. But to me, it's like, obviously you don't have an offensive line that can block long enough to be a vertical passing team. And then your run game is not good at all. And then on top of that, we don't really have the patience, it seems, to West Coast, unless we're kind of doing slants to Allen Robinson or curls. So it just feels like we don't have an identity. We do a lot of different things. And obviously there's all the trick stuff that Nagy likes to do. But the NFL about a year or so ago have started to fall in love with the under center play action, and we do it. And look, it works for the most part. Again, the reason it was conventional is because you hide the ball, and they're like, oh, you could hide the ball and defense has to pause and then you could throw it. Like, duh, that's why they did it all those years. But anyway, the NFL's fell back in love with that, and Nagy's on the trend. And so we do that a lot. But again, without an actual run game, it's not as quite effective as it could be. And so it just feels like we're kind of just doing enough to get by. And it's like we don't really know what it is, but we're going to do something to get by. And it's not even like, oh, we found something that worked, we're just going to keep doing it and keep doing it. No, we just kind of just do whatever. And obviously, against really good defenses, that's not going to cut it unless our defense plays better than theirs, which has been the case. So, yeah, offensively, I mean, Nick Foles, they talk a lot about him being streaky and everything. And I think, he didn't have a lot of time. Leno was trash, but when he has some time, he does make some random throws. But I think when he does have time, he knows what he wants to do with the ball. And sometimes the accuracy could, again, get away from him a little bit. But for the most part, I think he's got everything you need to use our receivers the correct way. It's just, the lack of pass pro and the lack of run game doesn't help him in that sense. So there's that. Going to the defense, I would say an A. Again, they drove on us, but the thing is, we constantly had Bridgewater's clock sped up. And that's impressive because we typically don't do that. Now, one thing I will say is that offensive line is trash. And it's sad to see such veterans like Okung them not know how to pick up a simple stunt, a TE stunt, or an ET stunt, really. But anyway, it's just like they ran that so many times. I don't get why offensive linemen can't pick that stuff up. But anyway, that offensive line was not great. Mario Edwards, though, I will say, out of everybody I watch, he's the only one that looks like we didn't have him before, but he looks like he's getting after it. Everybody else seems like they're doing the same thing. It was just a worse offensive line to me, to be honest. And so some of that stuff where we did do a couple different things. Like I saw we had Mac and Quinn rush from the same side one time. And we're letting a lot of different people go out there and do some different things. We added couple blitzes in key situations. We don't blitz a whole lot, so that's nice. But for the most part, our front four was really getting after Teddy Bridgewater. Obviously, to the point where he had to run a lot, and that's fine. Teddy's not Lamar. We'll let him do that. But we on the defensive line was impressive that way. Now, the offensive line for the Panthers did do a good job in the power run game and moving the line in that sense. But, Roquan's never really going to be that guy. But Trevathan, man, he was sticking some pieces. Trevathan surprised me. And I think they didn't really attack him. They kept attacking Jalen Johnson, and we'll get to that. But they didn't really attack Trevathan. And so Trevathan looked good in spots where he made a lot of plays in the run, but in the pass, and he's still not as mobile as he used to be, but he really surprised me with some good plays this game. So that was nice to see. And then obviously Roquan has great range, great instincts, And so all that was there, and the coverage was there 100%, again, giving us all that time to get pressure. But, yeah, so they went for Jalen Johnson. And here's the thing. I think our defense, you would want Trevathan to be as good as he was before. And obviously, Tayshaun Gibson is not Amos. But I think we're up to a better caliber than we were last year. And maybe even close to 2018. We're not getting the turnovers, but still, the thing is, I was always saying, as much as I like Prince, that's the real weak link. And as much as people have gone at Jalen, I think that has been even more testament as we continue to win, is that he's a much better upgrade. And as a rookie, he's limited. There's things that he's not going to be able to do, but there's other things that he's really good at as a rookie. And so as people have continued to pick on him, and I told you early on, I was like, when he goes against some real speed, we're going to see. So people have continued to pick on him, and he's lost some battles, but he's won a good amount of battles. And hopefully he'll continue to get better. And so, again, I think we have really solidified ourselves a lot better. I don't think necessarily Robert Quinn, as good as he is like straight going after everybody, but I think he's a good addition as well to that other side. But at the same time, I still think we have those pass rush issues, but it's a little better. It's a little better. And so I just think overall really solid. But yeah, defense did good, attacking the ball. You saw they got the confidence early. They saw Teddy Bridgewater's clock being sped up, and I think they just played off of it. Again, they had some drives on us. They definitely had some plays on us. But overall, without the defense being as, I wouldn't say as stingy, but as resilient as they were, we would have been in a very different game. So definitely respect out to them. So yeah, overall, it's kind of the same thing again. I know what people say when I give my takes, but it is what it is. We are really lucking up with our schedule. I think we just got the breaks. We really did get the breaks, and we've taken advantage of them. I wouldn't say barely, but we've taken advantage of the breaks as best as we could to get wins. And so I still don't think, you look and say 5-1, they're one of the best teams. That's definitely not the case. But at the same time, we have shown that if you don't play a great game, we can slugfest with you. So it should be interesting. But as of now, we haven't played anybody that I think, warrants that. And so we'll just continue to see if we get better. And I don't know, honestly, with this offensive line, I don't know how much we can get better. And so obviously a lot of people started talking about that last year in the second half. I've been talking about the offensive line for a while, and not having James Daniels doesn't help. So there's that. So anyway, go to the comment section. Let me know what you think. Share it around. Get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.